Welcome to match 2. This is the first game. I started off as Corp. I'm playing on the right side of the screen. We have Noise on the left. So we're jumping right into this. This is the second game, or third game of the day. Second match, first game. So first we got Sweeps Week. Gonna get some money based on the number of cards in hand. So he has 5 cards, get 4 money. He's doing some kind of weird hand signaling, he said, for the camera.
Then I will just install there.
And then get some ice going. So I drew a card, Sweeps Week, and install over R&D. So I'm trying to show the camera. Yeah, so it looks like I have an agenda, I have market research, I have a psychographics in hand, there might be a mid-season in there. So it looks like I'm gonna let him come into HQ and steal an agenda.
You paid 3.
So I have to mill the top because of Noise's ability. Hemorrhage is the card. So every time he gets access on a central server, that'll get a token. And then he can spend 2 tokens and a click to force me to trash a card from my hand. That's my choice. So not random. So then he plays Imp, which is another virus. Those tokens will let him trash any card. So he's running on last click here. I believe this is the last click. It's going to be second click. And he takes the agenda. So this is perfect for me. Yeah, that was his third click. Because he's totally out of money. So it's good for me, assuming I have... he's just checking to see if there's any viruses he mailed. He looks like a pop-up and a sure gamble. Or a hedge fund for the corp. So if I have a mid-season here, then this all worked out great. I do. So that's a base of 6, and I have the temporary tokens to make it go up to 8. So mid-season, if he steals an agenda, I can tag him based on the amount that my trace strength goes over his link strength. So he's getting 8 tags.
That's a few there. First click, second click.
But I don't think I'm not sure why I'm pretty sure... Oh, he took the agenda, that's right. I don't have an agenda in hand. So I have nothing to score with that psychographics, which is unfortunate because he has Imp, so I'd like to offload the psychographics before he can Imp it. But that's good. Ice up HQ, so he can't get in, can't build up those tokens. I'm okay with hemorrhaging 1 card, but it's not good to be in a position where he has 8 counters built up on that, and he can hemorrhage all of them. Drop 4 cards from my hand. So it installs Gorman Drip, which causes me to mill another card, and he's going to check it. Which in this case is restructure. It's too bad. I would really like to have the restructure. And Gorman Drip will cause him to get a virus token on Gorman Drip every time I take a credit or a card as a base action, and he could use those to get credits. He could trash Gorman Drip. Alright, he sees Power Shutdown. So he decides to use the Imp token to trash Power Shutdown. That card would allow me to destroy some of his programs, so he wants to protect his programs. It's probably good use of an Imp token. Drawn up. So I had my mandatory draw and then voluntary draw. Play a hedge fund.
And third.
I'm not too worried about the Gorman Drip right now because I have bigger problems. I need to ice up archives before I could even think about clearing virus tokens.
Alright, first click I will draw a card.
So hemorrhage at 3, it's starting to hemorrhage. It's that's when it starts to worry me. If I have to drop 2 cards from my hand at the wrong time, that could be devastating. Hemorrhage is nice in that you can plan for it, but only so much, and the more it builds up, the less you could plan for it. So he's running in HQ. His third click. Deciding if I want to res. I'm trying to remember what might be there. I can't remember, but I decide not to res. Which is bad. So he should probably Imp this. He's not. He decides not to Imp the psychographics. That's surprising. He has an Imp token and a bunch of tags, so it probably would have been smart to Imp it. But he might be worried about like a Scorched Earth play. So maybe he's looking for the Scorched Earth cards and wants to save the Imp for that. Maybe he hasn't drawn another imp. I haven't been looking at his hand. So that might be a possible reasoning for that, is he's just more worried about that sort of play. Or he might be focused on trashing, he trashed the program, trash cards, so he might be looking for more of those. He might be focused on ice. The deck may have some strategy to it that hasn't been revealed yet. So installing a card for the first click. And this is where I'm just trying to make sure I have all the math right before playing out everything and realizing I'm one off. So using psychographics for 8. So that card's advanced 8 times, and my third click I'm advancing it for the 9th time, and that's a Beal. So that's a Beal advanced 9 times. That's 3 points, 2 points, and then another 3 tokens because it's over advanced by 6 times. So that Beal is worth 5 points. That wiped my money, but that is I needed to do that because, again, he has the hemorrhage going, he has imp. I need to get that stuff out of my hand, and scoring a Beal at 5 is just fantastic. He's running R&D. So far, haven't rezzed any ice. That's a Grim. Let's see if he trashes that. Yeah. So he's worried about it. Seems to be focused on his programs, which makes sense. He looks like he's building up that hemorrhage, and he doesn't want me trashing that hemorrhage before he could wipe my hand. Alright, so yeah, he's using hemorrhage twice, so he spends, total of 4 tokens and 2 clicks, and I have to drop 2 cards. So right now I'm just considering what to drop. And I think that is 3 agendas in my hand. So it looks like I dropped, I don't know, I have the Astro script still, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I had 3 agendas in hand there. So that's not great, but at the same time he's been kind of trashing a lot of my other cards, so it makes sense that a lot of times you're like, oh, I'm getting agenda flooded, such bad luck, but really he was kind of influencing that. He was trashing a lot of cards that were not agendas and stealing agendas, so just taking money that turn. And his Gorman Drip is getting pretty big, which is unfortunate, especially when he's low on money. Yeah, he's popped it right away. But I didn't really have another choice. I need money to res ice to keep him out of my servers. So he gets, I think, 5 money for that. Pretty good exchange. It's like, I think he had 1 to install Gorm Drip, so that's like playing a sure gamble right there. And it wasn't really, didn't really cost him much. And probably influenced my play a little bit, so Gorm Drip really in it. Also caused a mill, which trashed some card. So he just hemorrhaged again. I didn't drop Astro Script, I don't think. Then he's running there, so he gets another market research, and that's the NAPD contract. So he has to decide if he wants to steal it. He could elect not to, but he's paying 4 to steal it. So yeah, it was the Eli that I had to trash, which is unfortunate. I like Eli's such a great piece of ice for central defense, but needed to do it. So he's at 6 points. He needs 1 more card to win. This puts a lot of pressure on me, considering I'm very low on money. Only 3 money. And I do have 5 points. That's great. I only need to score another 2 points. So I just need the cards at this point. I'd still really like to be able to defend archives, but I probably don't have the money or the ice for that. So I have 1 more click left. As install Jackson and use Jackson.
I will draw 2 for the last click.
Alright, just filling up my hand. So hopefully I got something like a sweep out of that would be great. He looks like a sure gamble in hand and Armitage. Just trying to see what else. But he doesn't seem too concerned about installing breakers. He doesn't need them. Alright, we got a run, second click run on R&D. So I'm electing not to res. Okay, Season Ouroboros. Can't do anything about that, but he gets another hemorrhage token. Ouroboros was a stellar piece of ice this day. I think people overlook it a lot. It's 6 to res, so it's expensive, but it's within reach. He can't trash that psychographics, unfortunately. I'm sure he'd like to, but he's out imp tokens. Yeah, Ouroboros worked out really well. So now it's a marked account he could trash for 5. He probably shouldn't at this point. I don't see but he decides to. I wasn't quite sure about his line of reason here. I think he just kind of wanted to keep my funds low. he's getting server accesses for free because I can't res stuff, so he wanted to just keep my funds low, as I think the idea. But it was pretty costly. So I install, I cycle for 3, and I score out the AstroScript. And that's the game. I had another, so he was going in there, I think 2 out of 5 cards, 2 out of 5 cards were agendas. And he wasn't able to score any of them. So that I got lucky there. I could have resed the Caduceus to keep him out of R&D, but my plan was to let him have a couple R&D accesses and just hope for the best. So many agendas were on the table, I was just kind of playing the odds there. And when he was getting into HQ, I'm pretty sure I couldn't res that ice anyway. But I was just hoping, I knew I had the win in hand as long as he didn't play another imp, and as long as he didn't score all my agendas. So it came down to luck, and I could have easily have lost that game. He was at 6 points. But I managed to pull it off, and that is the type of games I was having today with this deck. Pretty unusual games, but it seems to be able to come up with solutions when things are looking dire, which is usually a sign of a good deck. So thanks for watching. I'll have Game 2 up on the channel pretty soon.